Did you know that SayTrees has done plantation of more than 61 lakh of saplings? Namaste people, welcome to the another episode of Get Set Green Season 2. I'm your host Pooja Arvi. In this podcast, I interview change makers, entrepreneurs who are working towards developing innovative solutions for environmental betterment and sustainability, who are very well inspiring to start a sustainable living. Welcome to the show, Kapil Sharma, who is the founder and director of SayTrees. And also, we have Moneetha here from Lead Media Communications from SayTrees as well. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much, Pooja.
Welcome. Thanks a lot for joining both of you. SayTrees is an NGO which was started in 2007 by Kapil Sharma, and he along with his like few of fellow software engineers, they were really determined to protect our environment. So that's how the journey started. And currently I'm really happy to say that they are present in 13 cities in India, and also they have their presence across America as well. So they are working on various aspects such as saplings plantation, agroforestry, regenerating lakes and water bodies, and also they are working on providing solar lamps for villages along with corporates and other individual people. So, to just give a brief introduction, SayTrees is an NGO which is holistically approaching all the aspects to create awareness, to provide education, and as well as who is working in the ground to solve this problem, which is deforestation, and as well as to work on maintaining the biodiversity. So, now moving on. Kapil, I would like to ask, like regarding how well we can manage this today's problem. We can see that we are facing lot of deforestation problems, and also because of that the amount of water, groundwater is also varying. So can you please tell us more about this? What is the significance of it in today's date?
Yeah, I mean, significance of trees has always been, very important in all aspects, right? Coming to your point about trees are being brought down. So one most important thing which we all or the decision makers should consider is whenever any big projects are planned,
Hmm.
instead of keeping trees as the last thing or the last important thing in the project, they should start keeping trees as the most important thing in the project. Okay. Decision makers for such large scale projects should make sure that how can they make sure that the environment is not hampered because of any of their project, whether it is road widening or anything else, right? You cannot impact environment to get something done for us, because it may not hurt us now, but over period of time it will for sure, right? So one most important thing we all should consider is that, just because trees don't protest, it's not that we should take them lightly. We should not be just bringing them down for any road widening project or any metro project or any other project. It takes decades for the trees to grow, and
Yeah.
bringing them down overnight is the saddest thing and the most gruesome thing that can happen. And it's also impacting us, right? We may not, as I said, we may not feel it now,
Fair,
but
fair.
it's a slow and steady thing which is impacting all of us.
Totally, I agree with you, Kapil. That is, like a cruel or bitter truth, you can say, because even though we want to have good infrastructure or all the modern urban city facilities, but at what cost are we getting that? Or like, what is that we are, sacrificing for that we should to have all these facilities? That is true. And also, Monita, can you add in like how exactly is NGO this say tree is working towards this? Now that we know the cause behind it, can you please pitch in that point so that our viewers can understand?
So there are a lot of technical things which goes into it. There's a lot of severe planning that goes into creating sustainability in terms of conserving a natural resource. Nature itself is very sustainable, and when human interventions happen with nature, when we interact, we actually, we put away that sustainability point of nature. We are harming the nature in more ways than we can imagine. At SayTrees, one of the most important agendas for us is we always keep community at first. We want any intervention for that we put in so much effort of to stay and to stay so much longer that the human intervention is not needed for the nature to sustain. So the communities that interact with nature are the communities that needs to be educated, the communities that need to understand what nature needs and how to coexist peacefully, that is, in harmony. So all our team members make sure that they are there for the community. We handhold it, we maintain it. Each of the forests that we create, each of the rejuvenations that we work on, we make sure that we are in touch with the community constantly, and we are always available to provide them of any other resources that they would require, just in terms of knowledge building, in terms of mobilization. So these are all very small but important humane aspect of building our interventions.
Yeah, that is true, and I really like the point that the small human interventions adds, like a greater value for that. Let's say like all this spreading education, creating awareness, and as well as to you also mentioned that you'll be working with farmers and also all those things. It might seem, like what is that we have to, educate people about, because it is something that very basic. A human is knowing all these things from a very long time, but in today's time we are in a situation wherein we have to do that manually, right? So that we won't be ending up in a situation which is catastrophic for every human being on the planet. I totally agree. So Kapil, can you please tell me more about the story why SayTrees, and how did exactly the story started?
Sure. So the story of SayTrees starts from 2001 when I moved to Bangalore. So I moved to Bangalore to pursue my engineering, and I was done with my engineering by 2005. And when these initial 4 years in Bangalore, I was so impressed by the city's green cover that I had not seen any other city with so much green cover. Right? I had never seen a city which with such an amazing weather condition all around the year. It's not just few months here and there. Amazing weather throughout the year. I still remember that I used to call my parents during May, June, which is peak summer in the central India, in central India. But in Bangalore, it used to be so awesome, right? So that was Bangalore. So I have seen in the best time of Bangalore when it used to be so pleasant throughout the year. The weather used to be nice, tree covers everywhere, trees everywhere. Roads were lined up with trees, right? But all of this started to change around 2006, 2007 when many trees were being brought down because of many infrastructure projects. And I used to feel bad. I used to feel very bad to see these trees being down because I was valuing them so much. Right? I felt so bad that the trees were doing so much for the city. The trees which were making the city beautiful and the weather pleasant are being brought down overnight. And it used to pinch me very hard. And I was seeing this day in, day out. I was traveling from my home to my office in Outer Ring Road and then back. It became a day-to-day scene where I was seeing trees brought down around every part of the city. That's when I realized that I should do something about it. And I decided to do something about it because of two reasons. One is I did not wanted to regret later that I did not have, I did not do anything when I had time, right? And other thing was that this fear that if this continues, Bangalore will become the weather in Bangalore will become unbearable, and it has become true now. Summers are very harsh in Bangalore now, and if you go and ask, if you go and talk to people from Bangalore who have been there in Bangalore from last 2-3 decades, they will tell you the difference. So Bangalore has completely changed. The weather patterns are very harsh now. Summers are so harsh, right? So a lot has changed. But these were the fear. These were the fear back in 2000, 6, 2007 that if this continues, the city will go through very drastic weather changes, which has happened now. And the second one was that if I don't do something, I'll regret later that I did not do anything when I had time. And because of these two things, I made sure that let me try out something. Let me at least try speaking to people. Let's find out what an individual can do or what a citizen can do, a concerned citizen, because I was so concerned around that time. I
Uh,
started visiting government offices.
yeah.
I started visiting government offices, started talking to forest department and other concerned people that what should a student do, because I feel that this is not right. It is not right for the city. And that's when I got to know that the only possible thing or the simplest thing that can be done is to plant more trees. And that's what I did. That's what I did, and that's how SayTrees started back in 2007 when I planted like one sapling in 2007, about 110 sapling in 2008, about 1100 saplings in 2009, and this continued. This continued from year to year, and all of this was happening along with my job because I was still a software engineer back then, as I am now. So I used to get only weekends to do, or weekends to give time to trees. So Monday to Friday used to be my office work, and then Saturdays, Sundays I was keeping for planting trees in the cities and taking care of them. So that's what went on year after year. And here we are. Last year itself, we planted like close to 1 million saplings, right? So from
Yeah.
one sapling back in 2007 in Bangalore, we
Mm-hmm.
are now planting at least 1 million saplings, minimum sapling, 1 million sapling every year, and that too in more than 9 states in the nation.
Actually, could we take a moment, Kapil, and congratulate you and applaud you for what you did? It started as one concerned citizen who was just a student at that time, who was more concerned about what can be done to save this city and its green belt cover. So that is a splendid journey. I really, from the bottom of my heart, I'm saying that I'm really happy to listen to your story, because I can understand how you had to do all those things, because you had your full-time job and you need separate time for this, because you need to maintain all the things in balance. So for that, I am really, really happy for what you have done. And it's a great journey, from 2007, wherein you planted one sapling and ranging from to the millions of saplings over the years. So that is one great, splendid journey. And kudos to you and your team who are doing all this, awesome work. And I can vouch for one more point, because I'm also from Bangalore. So I know how the, like the weather, the as you feel totally nice in Bangalore. I miss those, green cover, as you said earlier. That is true. I'm not a native citizen, but now that I have moved and staying here for a long time, I totally understand the difference which you are trying to, address in your answer as well. So that is really, really true. And one more thing is that everyone at some point, what I believe is that everyone is more concerned. What they end up is like they won't be doing any action. So that is what I notice mostly. So the one key difference factor, what I want to say to the listener is, whenever you have any thought or any idea, let's not just concise ourselves to only trees. If you have any innovative ideas related to, solving, tackling issues related to environmental problems, or let's say like upgrading the quality of the greenery on sustainability, anything, please go and start doing it. That's where all the difference starts. So thank you, Kapil, for doing this. And also, Moneetha, as you were talking that you guys are also working with along with farmers. So can you please highlight the points of that collaboration as well? Like how exactly is SayTrees doing that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would like Kapil to take this forward. You projects. I think there is no one better than Kapil to answer any of these questions. So
Okay.
please go ahead, Pooja.
Yeah.
Like Saytrees is like a brainchild in and out of Kapil. So this is so much. We are silent revolutionary here. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
speaking on behalf of my team. My team is not here. They silently put day in and day out. And while Kapil is speaking, know that the team that there are around 60 more people on ground who are still working on a Sunday. So I feel very humbled to even speak for them. I think Kapil should definitely speak about it more. Kapil,
Yeah.
please take this forward.
Sure.
So, Kapil, can you please tell us this former collaboration which SayTrees is doing, and what programs is SayTrees going forward or looking forward to have them? Like, can you please highlight those points?
Sure. So, as I said, it all started by planting saplings, right, back in 2007 from Bangalore. And as years passed, we were planting more and more saplings. And then we were involving more and more nature lovers to come and join hands with us. We were doing tree plantation drives every weekend, and then tree maintenance drives during summer every weekend, right? And this went on for years. And then in 2015, I was invited by the United Nations to attend the World Forestry Congress held in South Africa. When I went there, I saw many companies or many people from many countries. They came there and they were talking about agroforestry projects which they have been doing in their respective countries. When I learned more about it, I got to know that agroforestry is nothing but it's about integrating trees with agriculture, which means you collaborate with farmers, plant fruit bearing trees in farmers' land along with them, right? So it's
Okay.
agroforestry is nothing but integration of fruit trees with agriculture. So I thought that, we are anyways planting saplings.
Hmm.
Why not we plant it with our farmers? Because by doing this, environment is anyways getting benefited. But if we do this, farmer also starts earning a parallel income.
Yeah.
So basically, it's not just one, benefit you're getting out of it. You are also able to support a farmer financially, right?
Yeah.
And those were the time, like 2015, I remember was the year when India saw so many farmer suicides just because farmers were not able to pay a few lakh rupees of, their
Loan
loans.
amounts. Yeah.
But agroforestry had the power to give the same amount to the farmer or even more every year just by selling fruit from these trees, right?
Yeah,
So it
I
becomes a
totally
parallel income for
agree.
them.
Sorry to interrupt, Kapil. I totally agree, and I want to add on one more point that coming making these fruits and all those fruit trees nowadays it has become so important. We see this monocropping. After
Yeah.
this, in the few past years, what happened was people started growing like if they started growing cotton, they were going on and on with the cotton or like any other crop, let's say for the matter of fact. But what happens
Yeah.
is the soil quality continuously deteriorates the organic quantity which it has, and the kind of regeneration, there is a whole new process the soil undergoes. For that,
Mhm.
it is very important that we have variety of plants, saplings or trees, or let's say other aspects to it like biodiversity, having beehives, anything for the other matter. It is very
True.
important and it is needed at most, because no matter how much you are using external fertilizers or whatever it is, at the end of the day the soil quality is the one which is most important for the quality of any life on the earth. So
Yeah.
I totally agree with you on that. And also congratulations to you that you got you got recognized for the work you were doing, and you got to go and participate in the world united nations. All those collaborations were really awesome, and it's great to hear such a nice story, Kapil. Also,
Correct. Correct. Yeah. It was awesome.
yeah, that's great actually. Then coming on to the fact that you are also working in this lake regeneration part. So can you please highlight, like how exactly are you doing it? Like how do you select a lake? Do you like there is a research team which will analyze the quality of the water body, or like how do you choose it? And then how well manpower is working on that? Like do you guys go and do it from the scratch, or like how? What is going on in this lake regeneration project? Can you please tell us?
Yeah, sure. So far we've rejuvenated more than 5 lakes in Bangalore and added more than 1 billion liters of water holding capacity. We are as we speak, we are rejuvenating 2 more lakes in Bangalore, which
Oh,
are
that's
more than
great.
like 25 acres capacity. Yeah. So basically, historically, we try to pick lakes where there are concerned citizens who are already working on these,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because when you do that, you get so many people who are working along with you, and you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many citizens group who have been doing so much work to save the lakes around them. So, I usually I get in touch with them. We find out what best cities can do to support them, right? Whether it is tree plantation around lake or whether it is the complete lake rejuvenation. So that's how it starts. It starts by identifying a place where we feel rejuvenation can happen, where we feel people are also, willing to take part in the same. It should not become a SayTrees initiative. It has to be a community initiative. SayTrees is just bridging the gap, right? But community involvement has to be there. So we try to find such lakes. We get all government approvals. We get all scientific testing done. We test the water, we test the soil and whatnot. Everything is done scientifically just to make sure that you know, the work is sustainable for long period of time, right? It should not happen that we do something now and after 5 years the lake comes back to its original shape, which was not the good shape basically, right?
Yeah.
So we try to make sure that we do all of these approvals, we do all, lab tests, we talk to all the scientists, all the experts around the same area, and then we start the work. Okay, we make a DPR which highlights what the work will be done. We find people who can do this for us, keeping quality in the mind. Quality is the most important thing which we keep in our mind while doing lake rejuvenation, right? So which we start rejuvenation work, and we keep interacting with these lake experts to make sure that the work is happening in the best possible way, right? So that is a very, in simple terms, this is how any lake rejuvenation starts, and it goes on, and then monsoon comes and monsoon fills the lake with water.
That's, what I can say is like adding water bodies is not only, I totally agree to that point that it should not go back to the same point how it was, right? So that point I really liked it. And how exactly are you going about it? Because doing is important, as well as you need to make sure that the what you're doing is more sustainable for that particular area, or that particular water body is also important. And I'm really, uh, happy to see the how the procedure is going on, like contacting from then collecting the data, and also like lab testing and all those things, for that you can like tweak the model in such a way that it is suitable for that particular lake. So that aspect of it I really like that, Kapil. And also like do you have any other plans coming up, like your, let's say like there is an individual students, or let's say any other person, like, so what they want to do is like they want to come and contribute. They might not be able to, like completely solely uh, conserve their time for this, but at least they will be willing to do something for that. So for such people, do you have any programs running on so that they can come and, join for you in these activities?
Yes, so we have a lot of volunteering opportunities, right from coming in planting saplings to taking care of these saplings during summer,
Hmm.
right? And these are the thing which you can do on your own. When I say on your own, means you can come to the ground and do the sapling plantation on your own and take care of the sapling and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if you're not able to do that, you can do a lot remotely as well. You can spread the word,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can start spreading. We always post everything in social media. You can start reposting them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that people in your network and everybody comes to know about that something is happening, right?
Yeah.
So people can do that. We have a lot of volunteering opportunities on creating videos, taking photos, right? There
Mm-hmm.
are many workshops that goes on. So there are endless opportunities for volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody interested should just reach out to us. We have a volunteering page also in our website, but
Mm-hmm.
they can even write an email to us at info@saytrees.org,
Mm-hmm.
and tell what their interest is. Someone may be good in writing,
Yeah.
right? They can help us in writing blogs. Someone may be good in taking pictures. They can help us in clicking pictures of our forests and biodiversity within the forest. Someone can make videos. We need that very much. So there are endless volunteering opportunities, and anybody who wishes, to help an organization or a non-profit organization, there are n number of ways you can do that. Whether it is technology, whether it is non-tech, whether it is setting up process, finances, whatsoever, right? There are many opportunities. We
Yeah.
just want people to come out, they
Yeah.
should, if they feel that they want to do something, but they cannot go out, they cannot be on ground, then there are many things which can be done virtually. We just need people to have that right intent that, okay, I want to do something, whatever it is, even if it is 10 minutes of effort, it really matters.
Yeah, so to the listener who is listening to, you got it right. So if you want to be a part of it, you can go and check out their website, or also you can mail them as well. If you can provide any sort of, service, they are ready to have it, like related to technology, video editing, photography skills, or if you are good in storytelling, you're welcome to do all that. So Munita, can you please also help us understand how your SayTrees is working in climate campaign activities and all the other volunteering activities which are coming up in your way?
Sure, Pooja. It's quite interesting because for SayTrees, climate communications for us is very transparent. We do not believe in portraying large, huge change without having a very good on ground learning. We hold on to stories until we have learned a lot from it. And when we really put those stories on our social media page, trust me, the stories are coming from huge learnings. They are coming out of huge considerations because we work with a lot of corporates. These conscious business in the industry is now, they're working with the planet because they know our existence is with the planet, and there's a lot of climate communications, conscious communications that takes up. Unfortunately, at times we really miss the young energy. And even though sometimes it's a green job, it becomes a little white collar job to look at all the compliances and to make sure that right people are tagged. Oh, we crave the beautiful energy that young people bring in, the kind of stories they want to tell. And that is why I think the major aspect of climate communications right now, and I will quote a data here, is now that the people who are graduating after, like, they are 18 plus to 25, there is opportunity of 85% job opening. So from SayTrees, we believe in climate communication as the most transparent part of communications out there, because who is there to vet you? Like, when it comes to doing something for an issue that involves a human being, there are voices. A human being can tell you the experiences that it went through, an accident that it has gone through, an abuse that it has gone through. Whereas when a lake is going through an abuse, when the trees are cut, they're lying on side of a road, dead, probably just invisible. They were actually even invisible when they were planted, when they were rooted. Imagine when they are cut, they're just almost as bad as waste. They're just invisible even if it's there. So the whole point of climate communications is bringing that aspect of voice. And for SayTrees, that is most important because they can't speak for you. They don't have the same language as us. And we believe that any youngsters who has a very like a deep knack for storytelling and want to speak for people who are voiceless, planet is the people who are the most voiceless. They do so much for us. We've been living on them for 2 billion years now, and we have just abused and abused them. Now the point is, it is just out of abuse. Now there's no limitations of what abuse can come into. Enough, when is enough, we don't know. And that is the point where I feel like we need most communicators with SayTrees who can speak about the pain that the planet and that the whole components of planets are going through, inclusive of farmers, because they are the most vulnerable. And they get so much from farming. They get their livelihoods, they get their food on their table, and the planet is the one that serves them. So the communication for SayTrees is the aspect of the most human part of our SayTrees organizations. Rest of us is very technical. We are at core working with science out there. But this small part of us just wants to hold on to that emotions of a planet, emotions of humans interacting with planet. And so anyone out there who feels like they want to tell a story, please reach out to us. Write down a mail, DM us on Instagram. We are there in Twitter. We're there in Facebook. You can anytime drop us a call. Also, you can find our contact details. So anything that is comfortable to you, please reach out to us. We are open to new stories. I can sit and listen to 30 minutes of stories straight up. So just call us up, let us know, send in your stories, and we'll make sure that it is out on our social media pages.
So what are you waiting for? The one who is listening now is already might be thinking of looking at your contacts up, because I believe everyone has a story when especially it comes to the trees or environment, because basically we are surrounded by that from the day we were born. So yeah, and Kapil, can you please tell us more about what are your aspirations related to SayTrees? Let's say like what will be the futuristic scope of SayTrees in the coming days for the next 10 years?
Sure. So, you know, SayTrees has very big plans in years to come because we are fighting, or we are trying to solve the biggest problem that mankind is facing. So, to solve that, we have to have big plans because simple things won't work now. We humans are releasing about 40 billion tons of carbon every year into the atmosphere, 40 billion tons. Scientists have said that if we don't stop the temperature increase beyond 1.5 degrees by 2030, we will see more and more catastrophic events. Okay. And if we don't stop 1.5, we will go to 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and so on, which means things will become even more worse around us, right? So, thinking about all of these things, SayTrees wants to just do everything impossible in our hand to give tough fight to climate change.
Right.
We are hoping to plant about 1 billion trees by 2030 and 5 billion trees by 2035. And majority of these will with our farmers. So our target is to work with about 2 million farmers by 2030 and plant about 1 billion fruit saplings with them. So which means we are not just adding 1 billion trees, we are also giving parallel income, or we are also bringing parallel income to our 2 million farmers. We are making this as a strong network of farmers who want to, who want to get benefited from agroforestry and also help the environment. So yes, we have huge plans. They may sound difficult, but we want to give it a try. We want to, whatever we have done so far, it is unimaginable, and I feel whatever we are planning is also feels that I don't know how we'll do it, but we want to give our best to make sure that we achieve all of these targets which we have set for ourselves, because simple is not going to work. Anything simple or anything small is not going to work. We need diverse solutions. We need scalable solutions, because the kind of impact that all of these, carbon emission and other things are happening on the climate, simple things won't work. We need to come up with innovative ideas and diverse solutions to make sure that, there is a decent threat to climate change itself. We want to stop it, right? So yes, we have huge plans, and we hope that we'll be able to achieve them. Because if we are able to do it, it will be really, really
Yeah.
amazing for the environment.
And yeah, I like from the listener who is listening, and also from the listener who is listening, and as well as including me, I would like to say, like give all the best wishes to you to, success in all the like ahead of future plans you have. So that's one thing I would like to add on to that. And also, speaking of climate change, you are totally right. Like nowadays, we are living in this, ticking bomb kind of situation. Why? Because this 1.5 degrees Celsius, if it goes to 2, then all the ice caps, glaciers will start melting, and the mean sea level will go on, and we will face with lot of worst and worst catastrophic kind of weather actions will go on. If we can see right now, Delhi is faced like this huge like detrimental kind of cold wave. And we also saw so much of, apart from in Delhi, we were seeing in different areas of North India as well, the temperature were dropping too low, below 0 degrees Celsius. So that I feel is a ringing bell for us to start working on this, instead of sitting and talking that we can do that and this those plans doesn't work. Now you rightly said the correct part. We need to come up with diverse solutions so that we can address this. And also, what is your opinion, Kapil? Apart from SayTrees, you as a person, how do you feel about all these changes which are happening around the environment nowadays?
So are you talking about changes, the climate changes is happening, or how weather conditions are worsening around us? Is that the question?
Yeah, in a all, it is about all that climate change, deforestation, and as well as wildlife is also somewhat a concerned topic nowadays, because there is extinction of rare wild animals. The rate is also increasing in an exponential rate. So, which is also important for a proper eco balance. So, keeping in mind all these facts, how do you feel, and what is your opinion about this?
No, yeah, I feel that it is, things around environments are not happening they're not going in the right direction. These things are not being taken seriously. As you rightly pointed out, species are going under extinction, right? We are seeing catastrophic weather conditions. That itself is the biggest proof that climate is changing around us. And while these things are happening, it's not that these are not impacting us. One may feel that it is not impacting me. Why should I be worried? No. It is impacting each and every one. For someone, it's direct impact. For someone, it is indirect, right? Farmers are feeling the heat because of irregular rains. We know that one uneven rain or one rain in a month where it is not where it should not come, it destroys the entire crop, right? So similarly, a lot of these things are happening which should not happen. Uh, these are catastrophic events which are increasing year by year. So these are not right signs. We need to make sure that, and it's all of everybody's responsibility. We need to make sure that first thing is we start respecting environment for whatever the environment is doing for us, because we have been just taking the nature. We have been taking nature for granted,
Yeah, I
right? We
totally
have been
agree
taking
on
nature
this
for
point
granted.
100%, Kapil.
Yes, and we all should remember there is one, nature neither forgets nor forgives. Okay, so we have been taking it for granted, but nature has its own ways, and we have seen when nature, when nature is so powerful, nobody can stop
Absolutely.
anything
Yeah.
from happening, right? So even though we have seen so many things around us, we have seen floods, we have seen earthquakes, we have seen whatnot, right? But still, people are not taking it seriously, which is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We need to take environment seriously. We need to take, nature seriously. We need to stop wasting resources, and whatever resource it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If people think so much before they spend there or before they waste the money, they have to do the same thing with natural resources. Okay, same thing,
Yeah.
because they are even more precious than the money we have. Because if nature goes bad, the money will also be of no use. And we have seen it, right? I'm not saying something which is just made up in my mind. We have seen things around us,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So we need to make sure we give nature its due importance. We stop wasting resources, whether it is water, whether it is electricity, whether it is food, or any such thing, because every action we are performing is actually hampering environment in one or the other way. Every action we perform, right?
Yeah.
So we need to be very careful. We need to stop wasting electricity, stop wasting food, stop wasting fuel, right? We need to make sure that we are, not consuming more than what is needed.
Mm-hmm.
You must know that there is something called day zero now, which means that, you know, we have exhausted all the resources on the planet. This year, last year, we had already exhausted all the resources by April. That means after April, whatever resources we used are the borrowed resources. It's like a loan you are taking, and it cannot go on forever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and these are serious conditions. These are very bad signs, and these needs to be taken very seriously. People need to put efforts. People need to understand that how important it is for every individual to take efforts. It will not happen if few people think about it and do it. Okay,
Yes.
it has to
Yeah.
be the everybody's problem, and everybody's efforts should be there.
That's totally true. And one person cannot bring this massive change. And we really need each and every person on the planet's participation to make this a successful drive, and which is really important to us. And it is not like you are free of will to choose it. No, you are not. If you are not gonna do it, then you are gonna face it all the consequences of the things which you are doing right now, and also every action as the equal and opposite reaction. So whatever we are doing to the nature in the means of resource consumption, in the means of emissions, in the means of pollution, is going to get back to us one day. So yeah, and it was a good conversation with you guys. I really enjoyed getting to know SayTrees, and I was also a bit emotional, and I got inspired a lot by the story of SayTrees, I can say. And Kapil, can you tell us three things from your life? Let's not say about like SayTrees perspective. It is from your own personal life point of view. So what are the three things which you can say, so that to the listener who is listening to can take away from you, from the experience which you got all these years working with SayTrees, and also your personal aspects as well. So three key takeaways, what would that be?
Sure, the very first thing which I always follow is to act. When I say act means if you have thought about something, you should just do it. Okay, don't leave it for future because then you're going to regret. Okay, so if we think about something, we should start working towards it. Okay, it may be successful, it may not be successful. We should not worry about the results. We should just make sure that we should give try to everything we feel we want to do or we want to achieve. Okay, that is the first thing. Second thing is we need to keep learning. It is very important. We need to look for things we can learn. Learning should never stop. That is the most important thing, right? Learning has to go on. Okay, that is the second thing. um and then the last thing would be that, right, we should never give up. That is most important thing. We don't give up whatever the situation may be. We don't have to give up, because we never know. After trying 10 times, if we give up, we never know. It should have been working on the 11th one. So never give up. Never giving up
True.
attitude is very important.
Yeah. So yeah, those were like three key takeaways from Kapil, which was first one was to act, and third one was to learn, keep learning, and the very last one was to have and never give up attitude towards whatever the things which you have in life. Yeah, let's say it's not related to, like any such activities only, like companies, building startups, or working in NGOs. It might be even as small as taking care of your beloved ones, or like talking to them. In each and everything in your life, you need all other things, like you need to put a certain effort, you need to be willing to do all those things. So yeah, thanks a lot for your wisdom, Kapil, and it was really great talking to you. And thanks a lot, Manita, for giving up all the ideas which this series is going on, and to having you on this conversation with all you guys was really fantastic, and I had really great time, that I can say.
Thank you so much, Pooja. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you and share the details.
Uh, Pleasure is ours. So, on a lighter note, have you ever thought that paper cuts are maybe trees' last revenge? Like, you cut us down, so we cut you up. So, ending this conversation with a lighter note, and just to bring a small bright smile on the listener. Also, never forget that we have a quote from Andrew Eben who says that to plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. So the plant is a tree in itself, is like giving life, it gives inspiration, it gives life, and it is also a center of our existence, because the very oxygen which we need is coming from our trees. So let's not forget those guys who are continuously working for us to give the basic thing for us to be alive and to feel alive and to be on this planet. Let's be grateful. So, at last, the three R's of sustainable living are reuse, recycle, and most importantly, reduce. Stay tuned until next episode. Bye. Take care.